with that because a lot of men think that makes them less of a man. You know what I mean? Like to ask for help. To do we a lot of us would rather appear that we know it all than to humble ourselves and come to somebody and ask for help.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That keeps you years and years back, or weeks and weeks back, months and months back, by you sitting
Mm-hmm.
around thinking you know it all. Because the person that you're talking to, or you looking at, and you're jealous of, they think, well, he'll figure it out if he don't want my help. Apparently, he got it.
Come on. I mean, how could you ever learn something or know anything or acquire anything else when you appearing to know it all? When you refuting any type of help, you just, you don't, you're trying to protect your ego so much of trying to appear that you don't know something or you can't get any better
Yeah,
that you stop getting better. You stop growing, and you only can fake it so long. Sometimes you could be so caught up in your image that you don't even see how you look outside of you. Everybody around you know what I mean? But
yeah,
you don't even look. And then when you finally address it, you know, or you get a whiff of the way somebody perception may be of you, now you don't know how to digest that. Now you want to hurt somebody.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? Because that ego is bruised. The one thing you've been trying to protect the whole entire time. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know, man. It's like, we we we've been conditioned to like not come to each other for help. We've been conditioned to, just live out of the spirit of competition. That's why we always measuring ourselves up amongst our peers. You know, this is where I'm in, this is where you're in life. Okay, if I look at you and I feel like I'm a little further than you, I feel okay. That gives me a sense of being
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Not okay that, you know, um, in the sense that, damn, my brother is right here in life and I feel some for him, a certain way for him, but makes me okay, feel okay that I ain't in where he's at. Like, there's no compassion, it's only competition.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
It's so backwards. It's so upside down.
Yeah.
It's so upside down. Like when I look at, um, was it 42 laws of Ma'at and the 77 affirmations, and you look at all these things, they speak against, the negativity
Mm-hmm.
and doing things against your brother or your sister and everything like that. And it's just like we do everything in a backwards form. Like you were saying, as long as I win, I don't care what you're doing. As long as
Period.
I'm ahead of you, I don't care. As long as I
Period.
200 grand and you got 100 grand, I'm okay with that. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing about it should be like, I got 200 grand. I can help you if you just let me help you. Or if you ask, I got everything for you set up. Like all you gotta do is just reach out and ask for a helping hand. And you don't see that often amongst us, like the neighborhoods and the attitudes, and sometimes even through the music, you hear the desperation and despair and and the hate and the negative energy, man. And it's too much to me sometimes.
It
It's
is.
just too
It
much.
is. We have to, but like speaking on what you just said, like it ain't always from the aspect of somebody having to reach out either. Because there's another side of that. Like at some point, you as an individual should also, if you care about somebody, it's okay for you to reach out. If you see where somebody's lacking at and you could be of assistance, it's okay for you to pull somebody to the side because the other side is that sometimes people don't know how to approach somebody and ask for help.
That's a fact. That's a
You
fact.
see what I'm saying? So it's like we also have to, the ones that's up or more literate or more, intellectually advanced in areas of their life, you have to, or financially free. You know what I mean? You have to, we have to sometimes take that time and pull somebody aside. Because sometimes it ain't always the way to save them is waiting for them to come to tell you they need to be saved.
Yeah. Ego death. Did you have to have one of those, ego death, to make sure that you knew how to better approach people, and just talk to them or ask for help? Did you ever have to have like the ego death?
I mean, I think we all as human beings at some point in our life had to go, to address that. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Because that's a lot, a lot relies on your ego. A lot of the way you move is in your ego. Your ego is nothing more than, you know, an overdressed insecurity. You know what I mean? And that's something I was looking at a documentary and I heard Quincy Jones say, and it was nothing more than an overdressed insecurity, and it made all the sense in the world
Mm-hmm.
that we'll put layers on top of our egos to dress it up, so that if it was stripped down and stripped naked, you'll really see we all really, down to be accepted. We all down to be accepted. So it's like at some point we all gonna have to either we address it or we're gonna have to address it at some point, because that's where a lot the flip side of that coin is where our self love, our self, you know, everything, reliance, everything lies in that. You know what I mean? And if we're suffering from that, we try to push the ego out front to keep people from seeing that. And of course, I've dealt with it. You know what I mean? I've dealt with it because nobody wants to appear to be lacking in any area.
Yeah, weak.
It takes a very humble person to say that they need help.
Yeah, absolutely. It took, and I'll admit for myself, it took me well into the latter years of my 20s to figure it out. It's like, man, all this stuff I'm doing, and I need help, but I don't know how to, how do I go about getting it when I feel like I'm a man and I don't need no help, and I made it this far, and I've been doing all this shit. Like I made it doing this, that, and the third, and then you realize like you could probably be a lot further if you had help to get to it, instead of you trying to beat this rock with another rock. Maybe someone could just pass you a jackhammer, you know what I mean, and help you knock the rock down, or give you a chisel and help you chisel it the way you really need it to be, and you could move a lot faster that way. So I think for me it came like later on in my 20s. You know what I mean? Like I was discovering more and more that this was an issue with myself. But I think most of that just came from being on my own and being independent for so long, like never really having to do nothing or ask nobody for nothing, and always trying to figure out a way of having to hustle to get to something, and that one day I was just like, you know what, this is the way I'm doing this isn't going to always work. And I need to figure out a myriad of ways and have different avenues of getting to certain levels and certain things in life. So I definitely had to have that ego death. I still struggle with it at times just because of, manhood and feeling like you that guy or whatever. I think we all go through it, but I do know at certain times when I have to dial back and realize that I'm not here by myself and I can't do everything.
Man, I go through it still to this day, just trying to get through it by myself, because we were taught as a man, society taught us, you man up and you get through it, and you do. But, they don't throw the part in there where, you're going to need some help on some things, just like you used the analogy with the jackhammer and the rock. That was nothing more than exploring another resource, networking, exploring the resource, it's okay. Sometimes the reason why you're not where you are because you lack the resources.
Correct. That's all it is. That's all.
You know what I mean? And you have to be open, for networking and things like that. And networking sometimes, in a sense, is nothing more than just getting around people that could help you out of your situation. You can't be the smartest person and the only person in the room.
Nah. And if you are, there's something wrong with that.
Yeah, you're in the wrong room. You know what I mean? And you're in a very selfish room. You're in a room that you believe that, it's a lot of insecurities in that room. You cool with being the smartest person. You don't like to be challenged. You know what I mean? You don't like to adhere to what somebody else is saying to you.
Yeah.
So sometimes people, you know,